Hi, my name is Amir Safavi, and I'm a second-year radiation oncology resident at the University of Toronto, and I'll be presenting work supervised by Dr. Meredith Giuliani on behalf of our team. Feedback deficiencies in medical education have been well discussed in the literature, with common themes including low quality and low frequency feedback, leniency bias, as well as skill deficiencies in feedback delivery. Feedback delivery is an integral part of cancer care delivery, as there are highly collaborative models of care, such as in radiotherapy. These models of care are not only multidisciplinary, but may be driven by interprofessional and hierarchical dynamics as well. Feedback delivery practices have not been characterized in the context of academic cancer centers. This is important because there may be downstream implications for clinical outcomes. R2C2 is an evidence-based reflective model for providing assessment feedback. The 4 parts of this model include building rapport, exploring reactions, exploring content, and coaching for change. This model may be suitable for faculty development using a microlearning approach, as the concise structure could be taught in a time-efficient way to busy care providers. The purpose of our study was to assess the feasibility and utility of an R2C2-based microlearning course and to characterize multidisciplinary staff perspectives on current feedback delivery practice in an academic cancer center. We used a prospective longitudinal design with purposive sampling of 5 staff clinical supervisors who did a pre-course one-on-one semi-structured interview, followed by an R2C2-based microlearning course. 3 more interviews were performed immediately post, 1 month post, and 3 months post-course. Interviews were audio recorded, transcribed verbatim, and coded for theory generation. 2 radiation oncologists, 1 medical oncologist, and 2 allied health practitioners participated in this study. All thought that the course was time feasible with a completion time of 10 to 20 minutes. The course was deemed useful by all participants. The course was necessary because people don't give feedback well here, said one participant. Lack of feedback delivery training in the cancer center was cited by all participants, as well as it was thought that the course may make feedback delivery more normal and commonplace. As well, it was thought that the course could provide a structured approach to delivering feedback, thereby decreasing deliverer distress, decreasing recipient distress, and increasing receptivity to feedback. 3 themes emerged regarding existing feedback practices in the cancer center. 1, hierarchical and interdisciplinary relationships modulate feedback delivery. 2, interest in feedback delivery varies by duration of the supervisory relationship. And 3, the perceived transactionality of supervisor-trainee relationships influences feedback delivery. Hierarchical and interdisciplinary relationships were seen as enablers or barriers to giving feedback. An enabler when giving top-down feedback to those who report to you, whereas a barrier when giving bottom-up feedback, whether that's to intra or interdisciplinary superiors or to peers. And drivers of this were thought to be imposter syndrome, fear of professional repercussions, and the lack of a culture of impromptu feedback. Shorter supervisory time decreased staff interest in providing feedback. For example, some staff scheduled weekly meetings with their year-long fellow, whereas there was no regular scheduled follow-up with their rotating resident. Post-call absences reduced staff interest in providing feedback as well. You can only give feedback when I think there's some continuity in being with the same person at least 5 times. And because people are also in post-call days, it's almost rare to be able to have that. Feedback was seen as a reward for clinical service by some staff. So the feedback model is a little bit different, right? Because if somebody's really working their butt off to help me, I'm going to give them a lot of feedback because I appreciate what they're doing. That's the expectation, and I recognize it. Some staff saw feedback as a barrier to clinical service. I'm not going to really give them feedback because it could only hurt me, because unless I'm saying you're great, can't wait to see you tomorrow, I don't want to say too much critically to them because I want them to show up again. In conclusion, an R2C2-based microlearning course is time feasible and offers a structured approach to real-time feedback delivery in an academic cancer center. Current feedback practices may be influenced by hierarchical, interdisciplinary, transactional, and time-dependent factors. As well, intentional culture change is required to normalize and encourage feedback delivery.